The most well-known luxury watch brand is Rolex. The extremely high product quality that Rolex has maintained over the course of its many years in business is the foundation of its success. Purchasing a Rolex watch at a retail establishment was always a special occasion back in the day. It simply means that you have decided to celebrate something special, which makes you want to purchase something extra special for yourself. Welcome to Lux Live, where you can get covered when it comes to luxury and lifestyle. Today, we're going to talk about the future of purchasing a Rolex watch at a retail store. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and be the first to check out our latest Lux Live updates. Rolex does not intend to increase its production capacity in the coming years. This means that the supply shortage will worsen, driving up the price of the watches even further. However, buying a Rolex at retail today is considered a rare occurrence, similar to winning the lottery, simply because you were fortunate enough to receive a call from your authorized dealer informing you that the wait is finally over and you can finally purchase the watch that you desire. It is now difficult to purchase Rolex watches from an authorized dealer. Rolex market differs from the majority of other watch markets for a variety of reasons. Because Rolex watches are extremely popular, this resulted in a variety of outcomes. Since production is constrained, demand currently exceeds supply. As a result, there has been a long period of waiting. Some people are curious about how the process of purchasing Rolex watches from an authorized dealer will change in the coming years. As of now, it is clear that the current process of purchasing a Rolex from a retailer will remain unchanged. One factor to consider is the incentives, both from the brand's perspective and from the authorized dealer's perspective. They continue to play these waiting games in which they prioritize existing or high-spending clients. However, many of us are unaware of this because they keep these things in order and transparent in a minimal manner. This scenario was different in the good old days, such as the 1980s. After all, they don't have a set schedule for when they'll receive Rolex pieces because the shipment arrives every week. Whatever it is and whatever it brings in, they will eventually figure out how to distribute it to their customers. Unfortunately, the procedure has changed significantly. This is a standard that we are all aware of, and in this case, we know right away that the authorized dealers were unable to provide us with an estimated delivery date. Perhaps they will try to persuade you that the information about waiting within a few months or a year is accurate. However, nothing is guaranteed to happen here, and no assurance is provided. Retailers are attempting to use the high demand for Rolex watches to sell additional items in their inventory, as well as offload items from their inventory by selling watches, jewelry, or whatever else they sell. It will be the most difficult to sell right away. These customers are willing to purchase items other than their target pieces, just to stay on the waiting lists and to be a top priority. This is how they operate. You can certainly obtain the GMT Master Pepsi, but there are other items worth $10,000 that you can purchase, or 20,000 other watches, in addition to whatever else they have. As difficult and complicated as it appears, there is nothing illegal about this process or tactics. You'd expect Rolex to care about this, and even if they did, there is no way for them to prove it because they have no control over customers' decisions to buy items from other brands in addition to this Rolex Pepsi or whatever items they will purchase. This situation will benefit the authorized dealer because they will earn more money, while the clients will feel rewarded for having a better position on the waiting list or not having to go through the waiting list. This appears to be an exclusive relationship in which both parties benefit. However, from the brand's perspective, the brand is also looking for viable dealers who can allocate more as there are different dealers. Furthermore, they have a variety of methods for selling items. If the dealer can demonstrate that they can offer both the less desirable and more desirable timepieces, they will be able to increase overall brand product sales. This is the point at which you realize the dealer has won. On the other hand, they are more likely to receive more allocations for the most popular models and items. If you're curious about the Rolex case, do you think Rolex cares how much other competitor brands and their products are moving to a given authorized dealer? Do you believe those figures are important to them? Or do you believe they are not considered in the same context as a Rolex versus other competitor brands? This is most likely not a problem with Rolex. They are most likely the only brand that does not have the same problem as a competitor brand because they can sell almost all of their items. There are currently multiple tiers of incentives available, and not every brand you are familiar with is one of the brands that has some hyped watches for you, which are similar to a few of their models. It's not the entire Rolex catalog as it appears to be. In the secondary market, things are different. Without a doubt, this is critical to comprehending the type of warfare system. They can use a random lottery or something else as a commitment to get the watch you want, to receive the watch from people who sell watches in the secondary market. The odds are in your favor. You will receive a watch if you pay. A deposit would undoubtedly be advantageous when it comes to trading on the secondary market. If the market situation changes, more people will buy watches at retail. It would result in less hype and speculative activity on the secondary market because people would honestly believe they have a reasonable chance of obtaining this watch at retail. There are simply too many incentives on multiple levels because you are familiar with how dealers operate as well as the brands involved. There is almost certainly nothing inherently unethical about it. Given the following scenario, no one in Europe is willing to make long-term predictions about production figures at this time, given that a pandemic occurred and affected everyone worldwide. They might even seriously consider taking it. At this point, they will have your money, and you are aware that they can guarantee you a specific production line surveillance, which could be 6 months or more. They probably won't notice. This happened to some authorized dealers who allowed someone to order but required them to pay in advance with an entire cost. Yes, they would be guaranteed to receive the watch, but they would have to pay for the entire transaction up front. While they cannot provide an exact date for receiving the watch, they can assure you that you will receive the watch. Despite the Rolex hype, it appears to be extremely difficult in light of the pandemic. Despite knowing the following prices, all of these watches are still above retail for the time being, including the Rolex Pepsi, GMT Masters, and Daytonas, which are still significantly higher than retail. There appears to be no reason for them to implement this type of scheme for authorized dealers. The future of purchasing a Rolex at retail is changing, and no one can be certain. For the most part, Rolex and its retail network want the watches they sell to end up in the hands of devoted owners who will cherish them. We'll have to wait and see if Rolex accessibility improves in the coming months. Thank you so much for watching, Lux Lifers. What are your thoughts on buying Rolex at retail in the future? We can't wait to hear what you think. We also encourage you to leave your personal opinions in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please share your thoughts with us. Take a moment to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is Lux Life, where we will get you covered when it comes to luxury and lifestyle. We look forward to seeing you again in our next video.